today's OneDoor Studios update. Lots to talk about with calculated development and the last 4 days of my stream on Indiegogo. Plus, we have our development director, Centineo, with us. Turns out she has a secret identity. Welcome, everybody, to another OneDoor Studios update. Today's kind of special because who's that? In my bottom right corner, I don't know where she is on your guys' screen, but this is Centineo. She is our development director. We've only had her on one other update before, but we thought we wanted you guys to meet her once again because she's so crucial to what goes on behind the scenes in regards to development. So,
especially right now,
especially right now because we got the script from Anne a couple weeks ago, and so Tay works with us on a bi-weekly basis. We have phone calls with her twice a week.
Not to mention, we got Anne from Tay.
That's right. Yes. Tay is responsible for getting us Ann Peacock as a writer, so we're very grateful to Tay. So we have Tay with us today because we wanted to talk a little bit about like what it is to develop projects. But before we do that, we have some other quick news that we want to share. So Jason, would you mind sharing with us what's going on with merch and stuff?
Yeah, we're gonna have it finally. On our website, there's going to be a store that's going to come out probably in 2, maybe 3 weeks. I don't want to project, and then be wrong. So give it 3 weeks on the outside, and you'll be able to go on and get hats and T-shirts, and maybe even some posters.
Yep. So we have. I'm just showing you guys pictures of what we have right now. We got these awesome hats for Calculated and MyStream. We got hoodies. We got these PSS Prodigy Stealth Solution hoodies. And the reason we decided to finally do this was Nova McBee, the author of Calculator. She said she's gotten so many requests for T-shirts because we sent her a few T-shirts and she wore them at a book signing. And I was like, oh my gosh, I want those. I need those books. I need those T-shirts, those hoodies. So we decided to finally do a store, and it is, it's not going to be exclusive, but the only ones who are going to know about it are the ones who are on this update email. So.
Sure.
It kind of does make it exclusive. So back to Tay.
Hello.
So Tay, a little bit of a secret. Tay used to work at Centropolis Films, and it was on the development of Midway as well as Moonfall. And you also did some time with Sony. You mentioned earlier.
Yeah. So, and I think I mentioned this maybe on the last one of these that we did, or the only one of these that we did when I was on it. But I moved through like various creative development internships where I kind of learned how to cover a script and what development meant at all. And one of those, my biggest internship was at Sony at Matt Tolmach Productions, and met a lot of amazing people there. And so that was kind of where I started off getting to learn the real nitty-gritty details of development. But it wasn't until I moved over to Centropolis Entertainment, which is Roland's company, obviously, where I kind of grew out of the producer's assistant role and into, CE and development executive. And actually, ironically, I came into Centropolis. They had almost finished shooting Midway. So instead of seeing the development, I got to see sort of the end of production and all of post-production, which is a whole other genre. Yeah, I'm sure everybody here knows it's a monster. And it's a monster on a Roland Emmerich movie because he is the king of, visual effects and big budget spectacles. And so getting really close to his post-production team was amazing and sort of gave me, obviously an inside look that any producer would need. So
I'll interrupt you real quick here, just so our people know, because I didn't know this until I met you, was that Independence Day Resurgence, right?
Yeah, all of them.
It was Centropolis. Name a few others.
The Patriot, The Day After Tomorrow, 2012, one of my personal favorites.
I like 2012 is good.
I love 2012. I am a big disaster fan. I like disaster movies. I like animal horror. I'm not like snobby with that. I will admit that right here and right now. I love that stuff. And Roland's the master of it. He's the master of the disaster genre. And he's also obviously very into history. He's done multiple historical movies, Anonymous, about Shakespeare. So, Midway was obviously history, and I think was one of his coolest to date.
It was good. It was a good movie. So what in the world? I mean, our viewers are probably saying, wait, if you worked at Centropolis, why are you working for us?
Well, I met you
took
guys.
a wrong turn.
Yeah, I took a wrong turn.
Everything was fine.
I met them. I met these guys through Centropolis. I'm not sure which one of you knew Marco Shepard over there.
Yeah, there were a couple of us.
Yeah.
Okay. And we'd read Calculated, and I, was lucky enough to get to read it and jump just on a kind of a call with you guys to chat. And very quickly, obviously we all clicked, and you guys had mentioned you wanted help finding a writer. And so eventually things kind of swayed and moved, and then we found Anne, and here we are.
Yeah. So what is development? We already heard of pre-production, principal photography, post-production. Yeah. Development is a whole other animal, right?
Yeah, it is. And to be honest, like often, you just said it, right? Pre-production, development, pre-production, production, post. Those things kind of in the middle tend to fuzz over a little bit. And it's different in every company, but with, my version of development, obviously what we're doing here is, it can be anything from taking an idea. Let's say that Steven came and he said a sentence and he was like, I think that sentence would make a great movie. Development could be turning that sentence, into a treatment, into a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 page, explanation and breakdown of the whole idea. And then pitching that to, sending that out to managers, agents, basically getting a writer interested. It obviously includes fundraising, or some type of financier, because writers don't usually do it for free. So there's that. And then taking that treatment, the writer turns into a script, draft 1, which then turns into draft 2, which then turns into draft 3, maybe 4, maybe 5. You don't know.
What's the most amount of drafts you've seen on a project thus far, if you can even define that?
I work on a project that the writer has been on it kind of since the beginning, and it was sort of his brain baby. And I asked him, I said, how many, he said he'd had other companies take it for a little while and then different company. And I asked him how many drafts, and I think he said 70 something, like 74 maybe. Now keep in mind, I think probably that also had to do it. That's like, 4 or 5, maybe small changes, new draft, but that's, it's a lot. Like development feels like the slowest part of the movie making process, right? So all of these people watching right now, your patience is very appreciated.
Yeah.
But it's years. I went and saw, a movie recently. The producer kind of got up and talked about how that movie was 12 years in the making. There were the biggest A-list stars in that film, and it took that long, so it's all a process. And, the assumption that a script is a 1 draft and then look at that, we're ready. Never.
Talk about many drafts, many years. I think, your favorite, one of your favorite films, mine as well, The Greatest Showman. I think it was 8 years in the making of that film.
Yep.
And the guy who directed it was actually, he met the director just on a film set of a commercial. And he really thought this guy was amazing. So it was actually his first time directing on a feature film. And it was stunning.
I loved it.
It was
I listened to that music to work out, by the way. Yeah, like that's what I'm saying. So, and again, even when you have the biggest names involved, these movies are people's children, and it gets even more like that and even more layered when you're adapting a book, because now you have an author who's created something magical out of nothing, and you have to take that vision, which, by the way, can almost never look identical because books are not movies and movies are not books. So then you're trying to keep everything that you can so that the essence of it is the same, while fitting down, what, for example, Calculated, 400 something page book down into 120 ideally. So it's a long, complicated, strenuous process, but it's amazing. It's my favorite thing in the whole world. So,
and the good news is we're moving forward. We haven't stopped. We're moving forward. Yeah.
But that would be nice. That would be nice if we could just hit pause, but we can't. So no, it's been amazing. And the notes process is going really well. Anna's a wonder. She's just aside from being talented and brilliant and hardworking, she's just warm and she's easy to communicate with, and she's responsive, and she's everything you could ask for in a temperament. So it's been really lovely and very eye-opening working with her and seeing how she works, because everybody works differently.
Tay, we really value your story sense. What's one of your favorite things about Calculated as a story?
I think this sounds kind of simple, but it truly made the book for me, because I've read YA, I've read YA action. Joe's gift and the way that it's described in this book is unlike anything that I've ever read or experienced. And I'm excited to see, because that's one of the most complicated parts. Of course, the thing that I love the most is like one of the most complicated things to develop and adapt into a movie, right? So that's like one of the big things that we're grappling with now, is like, how do you bring her gift to the screen in a way that makes sense, that is digestible, but not so simple that we're like, well, anybody could do that then, like, she's complicated. Her gift is complicated, and it's impressive and it's detailed. And so the way that Nova brought that to life in the book, and she chose select scenes to do it, right? Some scenes are more generally described. It's my gift is ringing. My gift is, there's warning signs, everything's, and we can envision what that would look like. But there are other points in the book where she walks you through every number of the calculation. And that was so intriguing to me as a concept, I don't know. That was probably what I would say is my favorite thing.
Well, John's been kind of quiet down in the corner. I want to see if John had a question for Tay.
No, I exhaust all my questions in our
development
meetings during the week. Yeah, writing is the most crucial aspect, at least in my experience in development. And until the script is cracked, until it really becomes a motion picture that hums, you really can't even think about setting a production date. And that's what everybody's looking for, directors, studios.
Yeah. Tay, how many times have you had, or has this ever happened to you? It's happened to me. I've been given a script to do some coverage on and analyze, and had all kinds of like, this is shoot horrible. And then they go around and turn it and shoot it like a month later.
Yeah. Yeah. Because they don't care. That's the thing, is like, I would rather take the time I need in development to make a script feel like something that the fans of the book will be proud of. And that takes time. They're some of your toughest critics, obviously. And they deserve a great movie. The rest of the world deserves a great movie. And so for me, investing the resources and the time into a script, which, in a space that often there are certain places that will just, it's sort of like a factory, and it's just like, go, action script, act 1, act 2, act 3, this is a go. And then they're shooting for a ton of money. And I think people can feel when you spend a lot of time and energy and care in crafting a story out of another story. And it's funny, like when we talk about script development specifically, right? Because development can be anything. But script development continues often until shooting day. Like we'll have a script that we're excited about, and then we'll go out to find a director, and we'll go out to find a studio or a distributor. And that studio or distributor will probably have notes. That director will do a director's pass on a script. Like that, there may be changes. There most likely will be tiny changes and adjustments being made to that script on the day that we're shooting those scenes. Like that's how this works. And the industry is stressful, but it's amazing, and it's a machine. And when you're working with the right people, it doesn't feel like a crappy machine. It feels like an innovative, smooth running, it's all very exciting. But yeah, the script we will be doing this for a long time.
Just a side note, John and I have spent some time in China, and we've got some partners there who are deep in the industry. John has spent time in India. But it's an interesting conversation that one of the keys to the success of films that come from Hollywood, from America, is that we do that process so well. And in other cultures, there just seems to be, they just go so much faster. That's something they've told us a lot. It's hard to slow people down. They just want to churn them out.
Well, you know,
Yeah.
you mentioned India for John. You know, there's a film that came out of Bollywood. There's a scene in this film. I forgot the name of it. But there's a bunch of bodybuilders in a weight room, and they all start fighting each other and throwing weights, and they're all like just wearing spandex. And one thing you don't know about John is one of those bodybuilders.
I can never tell with this company.
Thanks, Steven.
Are you joking? You're joking,
We're
right?
completely joking.
Yeah.
Completely joking. I don't know who's.
I wouldn't put it past John to have found himself in a Bollywood movie. I really wouldn't. I don't know.
Well, has any of you guys seen Black Adam this week? My son did. I was supposed to see it last night, but because it was Tuesday, cheap tickets, and I went to the skate park with my son instead. Have you guys seen it?
Not yet.
Nope.
Hey, I know you've seen it.
I've seen it.
Yeah.
She was at the premiere in New York.
I got to go to the premiere.
Why did she get to go to the premiere? Now, we don't want to diminish who Tay is, because Tay is, we're so thankful we have Tay on our team. But Tay's brother, Noah Centineo.
Centineo.
And what character does he play in Black Adam?
He plays Adam Smasher, who grows to be enormous. And so he's sort of like the fun comedic relief muscle. Well, I shouldn't say that. Dwayne The Rock Johnson is in the movie. So Dwayne The Rock Johnson is the muscle.
Is the muscle. Yeah.
But Noah, Noah's character, Adam Smasher, grows to be the size bigger than skyscrapers. So it's very, very, very cool to watch.
I picked my son up from the movie. He watched it the other night, and he wanted to tell me everything about it. He was so excited. He was like, I can't tell you that. That's a spoiler too. So what's this? What is it about? Well, I can't tell you.
Oh.
So
I will say, I mean, it's like, I am not normally, I don't even know if I should say this. I'm not normally a huge, my genre of choice is not normally superhero movies.
Right.
And this was, 2+ hours of like straight fun. Like
wow.
I had the best time in that theater, and I'm sure, you can chalk some of that up to the fact that Noah's in it, but no, every single cast member, every character brought something so special and classic and charming, all of them, every single one. And the coolest thing is that, I was lucky enough, like at the premiere and in Atlanta, to get to meet most of them. And I can say this with absolute certainty, from what I've seen, they are equally incredible people. Like every single, and you could feel it in that theater. Like they were all watching this movie for the first time at this premiere. And every time someone new came on the screen, it didn't matter how small the character was, didn't matter if it was 2 scenes, it didn't matter. The whole theater erupted. All of their friends and family, every cast member was screaming and cheering. That's just a really special way to experience a movie.
Well, we've been a lot longer on our video today than normal, but we had such a special guest. We had to spend the time. So, Tay, it's really awesome having another face on this call with us and for our investors and fans. So, thanks for joining us, Tay. Appreciate it.
Of course, guys. Thank you.
Yeah.
You probably just mentioned that the website, the ability to invest,
right,
will be going up.
Yeah, sorry, I should have been updated.
What?
We
Come on, Tay, don't egg us on now.
So right now we're recording this on Wednesday, and our SEC refiling was filed 2 days ago, Jason.
Yeah.
Okay, so 2 days ago. So it's in their hands right now. Last time it only took a few days for it to get approved. So that may be the case again. So, and we will let you know, and we'll let you know with lots of fireworks that the site is up again and ready to take investments in calculated sequels.
But Jay did test it out yesterday.
It's slick as butter. Man, it's so much better than a handful of you who were tortured by the first version.
I was tortured by the first version.
We should also mention that Saturday is the last day for my stream.
Oh my God!
This will never happen again. This was really for proof of concept only, but we did it by selling subscriptions. Really put money where their mouth was or their heart is or whatever. So this will never have subscriptions will never be wholesaled off like this.
$500 lifetime subscription to MyStream. What is MyStream? Whenever you guys search for movies every night to watch, you're like, which provider am I going to look for it on? And you're like, wait, I want to watch this movie. Well, who's got that movie? I don't remember who's got that one. Is it Peacock? Is it Netflix? Is it Amazon? So we're going to be an aggregate all of the providers into one app, with also the ability to filter things that, everybody's got families. Some things aren't appropriate for your family, with the ability to filter those things, which you cannot do right now on really any platform. So get to Indiegogo and look for MyStream, MYSTREME. We already have 184 people backed it with almost 85,000 raised, and only 5 days left. So,
John, didn't you say that most of the backers were at the lifetime level?
Yep.
Almost everyone, we thought, because Indiegogo is, usually people in the definitely under $100.
$74 is the US average for an Indiegogo contributor, and we are at $457 average per contributor.
Yeah,
so
that's way high.
We're way above average. So
we're thrilled. We're very encouraged. People want it, and we want to give it to them. So we're well on our way. Thanks everybody for.
All right, guys. It was a long video today, but guys, we'll see you again next week.
All right. Bye. Ciao.